Hey guys, so instead of the normal sort of standard review I do, this one's more of an ode to Life is Strange. Because it's a late one, it's a belated kind of review, but I loved it and I felt obliged to do a review or just talk about it. So yeah, this is kind of just an ode to Life is Strange. I'm going to talk about all the good things, also maybe a couple of negatives, and try and convince you to buy it because it is such a good game. So in Life is Strange, you are Max Caulfield, this shy little hipster emo kid.
It's way too emo in here.
She's a photography student, and you quickly discover that you can rewind time at any moment, which makes for a really nice gameplay mechanic, although it's probably not the first time it's been used, but definitely in this sort of genre of game it is. And it makes the game a hell of a lot more interesting, because every choice you make leads to this butterfly effect, and what Life is Strange teaches you is shit happens. No matter what route you take, shit just happens, and that's just life. Though in Life is Strange, probably a lot more shit happens than in most people's lives. Such as Max Caulfield has a vision where she foresees an approaching tornado, and this is going to wipe out the whole town. So ultimately, the game is about trying to stop this tornado from happening and wiping out the whole of the town. But as the game progresses, so does the story, and you'll unfold all these neat little subplots as you unfold what goes on in the dark side of Arcadia Bay. So that's pretty much the plot of Life is Strange in a nutshell. It is an episodic adventure game. It's developed by Don't Nod Entertainment, who I'm now a massive fan of just because of this, and published by Square Enix.
Maybe I could sneak in and watch Final Fantasy Spirits Within. I don't care what anybody says, that's one of the best sci-fi films ever made.
They obviously did that to brown nose Square Enix. Get your nose out of their arse. Now, I've always felt there's plenty of space in the market for someone else, like Telltale, to sneak in and sort of take what they do with storytelling and that, but build upon it and make a much better game. Now, whilst I love Telltale games also, and I'll continue to play them, Life is Strange, you can instantly see that it's, like, the engine, for one, is far better than Telltale's. That's always been a flaw of Telltale's, their engine. It's old and dated, but you can see that these developers have taken advantage of that. If I had to describe Telltale's engine, it would be like an interactive story experience. But Life is Strange feels more like a far less linear game. You can explore to some degree, you can find your own way and take your time to interact with your environment, rather than forcing you to take a path already laid out before you, which I feel is what Telltale do sometimes. So Telltale could really learn some lessons from Life is Strange. So I'm glad it's finally got some competition, if only that. But that's the thing, Life is Strange isn't just some cheap copycat clone. It does things that are new and different. Perhaps the main strength of Telltale games is the story writing and the characters. They're so well written, that can't be denied. So before I played Life is Strange, I was a little concerned that perhaps the writing wouldn't be quite as good as Telltale games, and it could have easily have been something they'd forgotten about and just got completely wrong, but they really didn't. On the contrary, the characters are memorable. I actually gave a shit about what I did and what choices I made. More than that, you care about them, you really connect with all the characters. So this sets the whole game up for some really beautiful scenes, some really shocking scenes. It's just one of those games that I will remember. In fact, it has this strange feeling of nostalgia to it when you're playing it. What I mean is it feels almost like you're playing a beloved classic game that you haven't played in ages. It's just an absolute pleasure to play. And the soundtrack is absolutely spot on. It completely fits the tone of the game. It's relevant. It's just perfect for it. You've got artists like Alt J and Mogwai and a bunch of other artists I haven't heard of before, but since playing it, I have since added the Life is Strange playlist onto my Spotify account, which is great. Now, I love the visual design of the sort of HUD aspects of Life is Strange. It's got this cool sort of sketchy kind of quirky effect going on with like little arrows and sort of sketchy handwriting. So I really like that design, it looked really cool. And it just sort of fitted with the feel of the whole game in general. And that feeling is simply just really relevant and very modern. The pop culture and the characters, the soundtrack, the music, the dialogue, the text conversations you have with all your friends, none of it's cheesy, that's my point, and it all feels very current. It doesn't feel put on or awkward or any way like that, if you know what I mean. I'm down with the kids these days. This is how they talk, I feel. Check me. Respect. West Side. Alright, let's talk about the main aspect of Life is Strange, which of course is the story. Does it hold up for the entire game? Some episodes stronger than the others maybe? Well, by the end of episode 1, you really get a sense this is going to be a really good game. Because it paced really well, episode 1 that is, because it didn't try and force and cram everything down your throat, like get to know all these characters and here's all the story in one episode and trying to overwhelm you. It didn't do that at all, and quite the opposite actually. It was sort of more calm than the other episodes, and it sort of escalates from there as they go on. Episode 1 is more for getting to know the characters and learning what the main storyline is and that sort of thing, and just setting you up nicely for episode 2 and so on. The strongest episodes were definitely episodes 3 and 4, they were just excellent. I think the weakest of all the episodes was the 5th final episode. It wasn't a bad episode by any means, but it just left a few things unfinished. I felt like they kind of rushed it. It did feel a tiny bit rushed. They could have spent a bit more time working on that 5th final episode, making it something really special. I just felt like, I don't know, when I was playing it I had a sense of their sort of panic to try and get it finished and tie up all the loose ends quickly. But I think a few of those ends were still left loose. I just feel there were questions left unanswered. And I don't know if the developers knew about that or forgot about them, I doubt it, but they either rushed it and just didn't have time to type everything they wanted, or they left things open for some sort of sequel or DLC, but I don't think so, because it seems like everything is kind of wrapped up. They don't really leave it on an obvious cliffhanger or anything like that. There were just a few little questions I had at the end of it that would bug me and still do bug me. And some things don't quite make sense. But I guess I'll just have to live with going on Reddit and reading other people's theories and whatever. But yeah, it just left me a little bit disappointed. Just a little. I still love the whole game in general. Honestly, this is one of the finest adventure games I've ever played. That may sound like a bold statement, but at least in terms of these episodic choice-based games, where Telltale have dominated for so long, Life is Strange has set a new bar. I could easily play through the whole thing again, making different choices along the way, because the characters are just so likeable. And as I mentioned, that feeling of like nostalgia you get from playing it, it makes me want to go and play it again. Life is Strange is perfect for like a Saturday or a Sunday morning. You want to just chill out and spend a few hours on playing a video game.
Oh, hello, young Max. I do love the early morning. Everything is so calm and quiet.
Yeah, that guy's a bit of a freak. So here comes the final score. I think you get the feeling that it's going to be a good one, and you'd be damn right, because Life is Strange gets
a 9 out of 10.
Yep, a solid 9 out of 10 with a must-own badge. In years to come, I feel like I'm going to look back on Life is Strange as a classic. A perfect fitting soundtrack, great characters and an excellent story make Life is Strange a must-own. So thanks for watching Pixel Freaks, please like, subscribe and comment, and we'll see you next time.